Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Well, has Theresa May cracked Britain's social care problem? The immediate issue is that it is underfunded. The long-term problem is that we haven't found a way of helping people who need care pay for it, other than suggesting they burn through the value of their house. The manifesto today basically continues that approach. Overall, the document is not, though, stuffed with largesse to elderly voters. That might be said to be a break with the past. Chris Cook has been looking at what it implies for pensioners.
This year, the Conservative Party is getting a lot of support from older voters. But it is watering down its support for them. A Conservative government would not renew the so-called triple lock on the state pension when it expires in 2020. The pension will still rise with prices or earnings, whichever's higher, but there'll no longer be a minimum rise of 2.5% a year.
On current forecasts, scrapping the triple lock doesn't make a great deal of difference at all in the coming years, but those forecasts can be wrong. They were quite recently, and in past years the triple locks cost quite a lot. And in the long term, even if the forecasts are right, the triple lock does add up to start costing quite a lot of money. So it's an important shift in that sense, and it's also a really symbolic shift, with billions of pounds still to come out of working age benefits in coming years. It marks a slightly different approach in terms of who the Conservative Party, which generations and which age groups the Conservative Party is appealing to.
Their most eye-catching proposal, though, is for a big change on English social care. At the moment, if you're in a residential home, you have to pay for it until you have £23,250 left in possessions. That's when state support kicks in, and that calculation includes all your assets, including your house. People in this situation would be winners from these plans. Everything stays the same for them, but the state takes over funding their care earlier when they hit £100,000 of assets, so their potential care bill is smaller.
What we also see is that those people who are worried that their savings are going to have done the right thing and saved through their life and worry their savings will dwindle to virtually nothing, we're quadrupling the threshold at which assets will be protected to that £100,000.
If, though, you're receiving care at home, things are different. At the moment, those people have to pay for care from their assets until they hit £23,250 when the state help starts. But houses are excluded from that sum. So people looked after in their homes have to run down their savings but get to keep their homes. Under the new Tory plans, they would stop having to run down their own cash sooner, when they hit £100,000. But the value of their houses would be included in the means test. So a lot of people in care at home, so-called domiciliary care, would now be liable to pay much, much more.
We need a government that is...
The Tories have also promised, though, that payment of money from housing assets can be delayed until the care recipient dies.
Those elderly people who've been worried about how they pay for care in their home won't have to worry about that in future. They won't have to pay while they're still alive. Nothing will be paid. They won't have to sell their home while they're living in it.
The plan is intended to get more cash out of pensioners while not demanding they leave home. That's a major objective for people like 97-year-old Tony Varsky.
I've been offered the opportunity to go into a care home, but I'd like to be here. I'd like to spend the rest of my life here. They're surrounded by my belongings and everything running on that basis. I don't want to be out of this place, no.
I think the key things to celebrate about today's decision on social care are bringing money into the system, bringing assets onto the table to pump much needed cash into a social care system that's really struggling from underfunding, at the same time as providing more care to poorer pensioners and protecting more poorer pensioners' assets, whether they receive care in their own home or in a residential home. So it doesn't do everything, but those steps are really welcome.
Previous proposals to reform social care have also identified a problem that these proposals simply do not touch. Namely, the fact that if you're unlucky enough to have very poor health in your old age, you also get billed for it. So families, individual families, bear the financial risk of illness in old age. So this change puts more money into the existing care system in the form of the housing wealth held by the 670,000 people in domiciliary care in England. But it doesn't seek to make life less capricious. The people who need most help will still be asked to pay the most.